Welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of sports. And Super Bowl Sunday is upon us. The big game, the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers, the biggest matchups, the impact players, and the things to look out for as we preview Super Bowl 58. Tim, are you ready to go?
Hey, gotta be honest, not the matchup that most people wanted to see, but there's still a lot going into it, so let's run it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not the People's Super Bowl, the Baltimore Ravens versus the Detroit Lions. The color curse has been broken, unfortunately. It would have been kind of crazy to see the conspiracy come true for a third straight year, but alas, that's no more. It's a Super Bowl rematch of 4 years ago, where in Super Bowl 54, these same Chiefs and Niners squared off. Kansas City won that Super Bowl and kickstarted their run of dominance. And the San Francisco 49ers, they're looking for revenge. On the other side, the Chiefs looking to go back to back and establish their dynasty, their third in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a very interesting matchup. The 49ers are definitely a team that's looking to come into this matchup more well put together, more well-rounded, more full of talent all around, I would say, than when they first had this matchup a couple years back. Both teams look significantly different. And I would say Kansas City probably is a little bit more confident in their experience per se in terms of being here before, just because the fact that again they've been here oh so often, as they conveniently like to remind us.
Well, here's the
But
thing,
the
Tim.
40
I don't mind. I don't really care. I know people are sick of the Chiefs, but the more I think about it, the more I respect their greatness and how difficult it is to return to four Super Bowls in 5 years. And that experience comes in handy when you get to these big games because really it's nothing like anything you've ever done before.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously the 49ers are not in that situation. If you look at the team that they were, when this matchup previously happened, they're not really remotely the same team. You can say that about both sides, but they've got a lot of guys that are new to this situation, in terms of obviously you got Brock Purdy at quarterback and Christian McCaffrey. This is his first time going through this type of run in the playoffs. So they've got a lot of guys where this is new to them. You've even had some situations, if you've been checking the media, the fact that the 49ers are not all too pleased about some of the practice conditions that they've had in Vegas going into some of this. So that's a little bit of an interesting thing in its
Aw,
own right.
boo
But
hoo. They don't like
I
the
was going to say,
practice field.
I'm sure you're not
Wah,
going to find any
wah.
issue with that. But
Cry about it. You
yeah,
it's really that's the thing. You're gonna come here. You're gonna come to the Super Bowl and complain about how our practice field isn't good enough. I
hey,
just find that a little ticky
to
tacky, but
each
that's just
their
me.
own. I'm not witnessing it myself, but I think in this game, one of the big things to highlight is the defense, how good the Chiefs defense is, which is again weird to say. But obviously the 49ers still have a lot of talent in their own right. They have been a little bit more exploitable at times, but overall this could be a very defensive Super Bowl, which is not typically what most people want to see. For instance, that reminds me going back to the 13-3
Oh
Patriots
yeah,
Rams Super Bowl,
yeah, that was
which I
boring.
will say I hated watching. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of hoping that it might not be, but it's loading up to where it's there's a possibility.
Well, Tim, let's break down those matchups, starting with the 49ers offense going against the Chiefs defense. Now, this is where all of the stars align because, like you said, the Chiefs defense is surprisingly one of the best units in the league and makes this Chiefs team more well rounded than in years past. They are seventh in DVOA and fifth in expected points against per drive. But on the other side, San Francisco's offense are first in both of those categories. The thing that's super unique about the Niners offense is that they attack with mostly 21 personnel, which is two backs and a tight end, the backs being Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Juszczyk, and the tight ends being George Kittle. But they're excellent and ranked towards the top of the league, regardless of personnel. And I think that's definitely something to note.
Yeah, it is very interesting. And honestly, one of the things that I noticed, from some of the points that I got to watch in the NFC Championship game, is how much the 49ers sort of kind of end up either accidentally or purposely using Kyle Juszczyk even in the passing game. I saw him catch a couple of passes here and there that it was really some of those bailout situations. So
Oh, he's
he
a
can be
weapon.
he can be a valuable weapon all over the field, not just in helping out the run game, but also in the passing game there. We all know just how this 49ers offense can be. They have talent all over the field. Obviously, they want everybody healthy. I know Deebo Samuel has been on and off dealing with some stuff throughout the season, throughout the playoffs. But they have the opportunity to, put up some serious numbers against obviously what is considered to be one of the best defenses in the league. So it'll be interesting to see, and especially how someone like Brock Purdy steps up to this matchup. Obviously, we all know your opinion here on Brock Purdy and his situation here with the 49ers, but it's more about what that means
Are
for
you
the
going to give
total
me a
team
chance to
success
explain
in
myself
this
there?
game. I will. I don't really want to because I know where this is going, but
Okay.
take the
So,
floor.
sure. With me and Brock Purdy, I think the pressure is more on the Chiefs defense and how you stop the 49ers offense. With Christian McCaffrey, you can't really stop him. You can only try to slow him down. And the key is just going to be getting to Brock Purdy. Because here's the thing, although Brock Purdy has played decently well, I'm sorry, he's not a good quarterback. If you put pressure on him, he's young. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to float balls in the
I
air
want
that
to say
should
I
be
saw a
intercepted.
stat that I saw a stat that Brock Purdy was literally first in the league in throws under pressure this year. Now I
Eh.
don't have that stat in my back pocket, but I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Look, any young quarterback that gets rattled is bound to make mistakes. I don't care
For
who you
sure.
are. And this is not Tom Brady. This is not Patrick Mahomes. This is Brock Purdy. And if you are considering Brock Purdy to be even remotely in the same class as a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen, then you need to seriously rethink about how you evaluate football players. All
I've
right?
got a question though. I've got a
Sure.
question. What happens, and I'm not saying it will, but what happens if we come out of this game and Brock Purdy outplays Mahomes? What if?
Then the 49ers defense played a fantastic game because that's the only way I can really see that happening. I'm going to be honest.
Maybe.
And on the other side, the Chiefs defense may have just fallen asleep because with the pass rush, I don't really see how Brock Purdy, has any time to throw. Sure, he can make the occasional good throw, but welcome to the NFL. That is a qualification for being an NFL quarterback. Brock Purdy is an NFL quarterback. Is he a good franchise caliber NFL quarterback? No.
I think that remains to be seen in terms of how he goes from here on out.
And I'm
But
going to
right
hate
now,
myself if he wins because the narratives, which are already insufferable around him, are going to be even more so. Brock Purdy does not get an A for having the best group in the group projects in the NFL. He has objectively the best group mates around him. So why does
oh,
he
a
get all the
hundred.
credit?
No, I mean hundred
Him
percent.
being an
But
MVP finalist is absolutely astronomical, and he has no place being there.
that is some of the problem with the way that certain awards can be skewed just by statistics. And that is kind of how things go sometimes. But overall, I mean, if he is able to play well enough and utilize the weapons around him, I have to at least give him credit for that. If he isn't able to do that, then yes, that falls on him and that is his fault. But
So congratulations, you basically inked Brock Purdy being a system quarterback because he plays very, very well in Kyle Shanahan's system, and he plays
you
very,
don't
very
know what he
well.
would look like outside of Kyle Shanahan's system. That's why it's like, how do you call a guy a system quarterback when you don't know how he plays outside of that system?
What do you think he's going to get better?
No one knows that. You don't know.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Call me a
It's all
hater.
speculation. You
Call
are
me
a Hall of Fame Brock Purdy hater.
call me a hater, but Cam Newton was right in everything that he said. Cam Newton was absolutely correct in his assessment. All right. I will take the label Brock Purdy hater and wear it with pride because he is a good quarterback for the 49ers offense and what they need to do. He is not a good NFL quarterback. But That's my Brock Purdy contingent. I think we went on far too long about it because there's still
As
other
per usual.
aspects. Well, Tim, you get me going about something like this, and you know how
I
that
have my
generally
ways.
you generally know how that turns out. The Chiefs offense and the Niners defense is still a matchup that we need to go over. And with the Chiefs, I think the thing to note about them is the resurgence of their passing game. Even though they didn't put up that many points against Baltimore, and it was a close game against Buffalo, Travis Kelce, who was not the best tight end in the league, consensus that we all expected him to be, has truly come alive in these playoff games. And Rashee Rice has emerged to being a true wide receiver one. So that gives Patrick Mahomes multiple valuable targets. And as much as it surprises me, Marquez Valdes-Scantling shows up sometimes in big games, like he has in this playoff game, which, like,
Yeah.
why couldn't he do that for Green Bay? But,
I will
that's
say in
neither
big
here nor
in big
there.
moments, he's shown up in some big moments. I can't say that I've seen anything particularly star-studded, but he's come alive when they needed him to.
The 49ers also have an awesome defensive line. They need to get pressure on Mahomes. However, Patrick Mahomes is like actually a legitimate escape artist and an improvisational wizard. See
The only
Super
thing I'll say
Bowl
about
55 against the Buccaneers.
I was gonna say, but here's the thing, but you saw what the Bucks were able to do to him in that one. I would say that is your best opportunity
Oh, sure.
to get to and fluster and make Mahomes' life miserable. Is you have to be able to get pressure and make him get out of the pocket. Obviously, I mean we've seen teams like the Ravens, like the Bills, get some pressure on him, and of course, like you said, he's a wizard, so he'll still find a way to make some of those passes. But without it, I think you make your job 10 times more difficult.
I absolutely agree. So the X factor in this matchup has to be the run game for both teams because neither run defense is very good. The Chiefs' run defense isn't great in general, it ranks towards the bottom of the league, and the 49ers' run defense has been terrible lately with Aaron Jones, Shamir Gibbs, and David Montgomery basically getting whatever they want all playoff long. So if you want to go back for back, McCaffrey in his line versus Pacheco in his line, I think the advantage is clear with San Francisco. But, that's why you play the game. Isaiah Pacheco runs like he wants to stomp somebody's face in.
Yeah, no, I think the running game really will have a large effect on this one. Honestly, with the way that the Chiefs defense plays, I think if the 49ers aren't able to get the run game going, I can't see the pass game going very well. I think the only thing that's going to open up the pass game well enough for the 49ers to have, the type of success for them to put up, some significant points, they're going to need to have to respect the run. And obviously they have all the weapons to do that with whether or not they're going to do anything with Deebo Samuel out of the backfield. You obviously have Christian McCaffrey, but they're going to need to have to respect the run for them to, get the pass game going.
So, Tim, I think the question needs to be asked, who's winning this thing? Who you got?
Man, the problem is who I've got and who I want to win are two different answers, which probably
I think
plays my
that
hand a little
pretty
bit.
much plays your hand. No, not a little bit.
It does. It
Yeah.
plays my hand that I do believe that the cards point towards the Chiefs winning this one, even though I think I would rather see the 49ers. Obviously, I'm not a 49ers fan. I just I'm here for the Brock Purdy talk and how it infuriates you. So
Oh
if
my
he were
God.
to win, first of all, it would be a cool story. Just for Mr. Irrelevant to win the Super Bowl would be a
Absolutely.
very cool
I am
story.
not taking anything away
Um,
from Brock Purdy's story. It is a fantastic story, but my goodness, the meat writing is
but
insane in
yeah,
the media. I digress.
I think the Chiefs are just too well rounded in this one, and their defense is just too solid.
Dude, I agree. This is Patrick Mahomes' best defense behind him, and it's really not close. And that makes it even more scary than any other Chiefs team we've seen. Because when the defense is your backbone, any offense with Mahomes is dangerous. So if he can figure it out on any given day, and then we're good on the defense, gosh, that's so frightening. And the Super Bowl experience is absolutely something you have to take into consideration. I mean, the Chiefs have been here many times. The most important players on the 49ers haven't. So that's my takeaway from it. But that's all we got for our Super Bowl predictions. If you want us to talk about other things football, let us know. But this is kind of a short outro, but we got to wrap it up. Until next time, we out.